All right, thank you for joining us for the FTGP Le Mans support race for the GR4 class. I am joined by my co-commentator, Luigi. Luigi, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Good to be here in this support race here. We're gonna be looking at some Group 4 cars around Le Mans, which is one of the most oldest tracks in history, and holds a really good prestige in motorsport history.
Yeah, and looks like we got a little bit of rain today. Dinosaur is currently out on track with the racing softs, but there are a few drops of rain. If you look at the rain meter on the bottom left hand of the screen, it is just above that first tick, so that's when things are starting to get pretty slippery.
Yeah, I think overall in these conditions it's just gonna be tricky trying to get the car on track, and I think Dino's just hoping the conditions just get drier and drier for the qualifying lap, because obviously it's better to be risky because you're going to get a lot of attempts in qualifying rather than the race.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that we don't get a copy of the radar map on the stream as a spectator, but we'll hopefully see, I think for Dinosaur's sake, the rain stops as the qualifying session goes on. And to introduce our drivers, we have Dinosaur, speaking of, with the Rex livery, currently leading the outlap at the moment. Toasty, the reigning FTG champion, winning all of our FTGP races, I believe, since the beginning of the year, aside from the first FTGP race in January. We got Thundermouse, Rogue Nipra joining us with the Empowered Motorsports livery from Season 1. Oh no, it looks like Dinosaur spun out there at Indianapolis, so those racing softs not quite holding up. 32 Nasty PSVR in the Mustang GR4 car. Harm's Way, Lamb King, and Ads. Ace, currently serving his penalty in the Supra GR4. And finally, Trackhead in the Renault, I think the Megane GR4.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very tight qualifying between the Group 4 class. This is a class that's often occurred to be one of the most closest in Gran Turismo 7. We obviously have your favorite here, Toasty, driving in the Ferrari. A pretty decent car with decent raceline speed, and he is considered to be one of the drivers that should be winning this race, as he will be starting his lap soon.
Yeah, and just
With
like
the
Dinosaur,
track,
he chose to use the racing softs. So, interesting choice.
yeah, I think he's got the idea in mind that the track is drying. There will be track evolution soon occurring, and he's gonna take the risk of, maybe track drying, and he'll get faster eventually.
So it looks like Dinosaur is in the pits along with Rogue Nipra. I assume Dinosaur is in the pits maybe because he picked up damage in that spin around Indianapolis. So 32 Nasty PSVR followed closely by, looks like, Harm's Way in the Dodge. Is that the Dodge Viper? Yeah, he's in the Dodge Viper GR4. So our contestants are going through the first sector of the Le Mans, the S's.
Yeah, as they're gonna begin their lap, Harm's Way in the Viper is gonna have a big advantage, and I think that's Nasty in the Mustang there. They're both gonna have a pretty good advantage. Harm's Way more, as he's taking the slipstream, they might be colliding, going into the first chicane. As I fear they might rule in both of their qualifying laps as they go side by side through here. But yeah, Nasty's just gonna let him through.
I'm surprised they didn't take advantage of bump drafting each other down the straight. I think that could have been a good opportunity to potentially boost their lap time by quite a bit, seeing that the straight is such a key important part of the lap time here. But Harm's Way opting, like you said earlier, to pass 32 Nasty PSVR before the first chicane.
Yeah, I think probably knows not to give the advantage to the other cars. Friends or not friends, teammates or not teammates, rivals or not rivals. He's just gonna do his own thing right now. So we see, I believe, Thundermouse in the McLaren. Very competitive car in the Group 4 class. And he's just gonna be approaching, I believe, the Mulsanne King towards the Mulsanne corner soon. Ad's right behind him, and so is Ace. They're both taking the slipstream.
It's a good mix of cars here participating today. So we saw Toasty in the Ferrari, Harm's Way in the Dodge Viper, now Thundermouse and McLaren. We see two of the Toyota Supras, which seem to be a popular choice for this race. Do you have any? What car would you have chosen to race in this race if you were participating, Luigi?
Well, with the car I've locked in, I've gone with the Aston Martin V8 Vantage.
Okay.
It's a car that, well, I believe one of the drivers are driving, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I think it's Rogue Nipra. Yeah, there we go. We got Rogue on the screen.
Yeah, Rogue Nipra. Yeah, it's overall a pretty decent car. The main thing helping it is you're gonna get a lot more torque than mainly the other cars that will have the advantage to them. Not the best, however, you can do a lot with the setup on the car, and that's why it makes it one of my favorites.
Rogue there taking the V8 Vantage through Indianapolis, through Arnage.
Yeah, as it looks like the track is drying now, we are going to see quite a lot of faster lap times as we go through the session and as the track dries out, as we see Lamb King in the Lamborghini in the four-wheel drive. Toasty has done 4 minutes 30 seconds. Wonka, what do you think is going to be the session best in terms of lap times today?
Well, considering we have only 15 minutes worth of qualifying and, a 3-minute buffer after qualifying ends, really anyone who's on track currently is going to get another hot lap, and that's just going to be about it. So Toasty, I think, is obviously the favorite here to get pole position. And I think if he can decrease his time by a few seconds, I'm thinking like a 4:28 potentially. I think that will be around what pole position will be. But who knows? Sometimes Toasty is also human. He's prone to making mistakes, just like anyone else. Although we haven't really seen him make many mistakes recently. So him being human is sometimes questionable. But we'll see. I think one maybe sub 4:30 is the target here for pole position.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Toasty himself is a really consistent driver, and right now he is on provisional pole position. Granted, the other drivers were on intermediates and have switched to the soft drivers, those drivers being Ace and Dino coming on. They're going to be on the out lap, and this they have to be really quick with it because they'll only get one more attempt at this run. As that's Trackhead. Has very worn out tires. He has not pitted, so I think that might be qualifying ruin for him in the McGain Trophy.
Yeah, certainly. I think those pitting right now to switch over to the soft tires will potentially not even have the opportunity to run another hot lap. They'll have to go do their out lap and then run a 4 minute, essentially a 4.5 minute, 4.5 minute lap time. But by that time, we're already at the 12-minute mark for qualifying. So it's essentially 6 minutes until the cutoff. So it will be tight for some of these guys. We'll see if they can get to the line before qualifying it. And Trackhead there just run. He just ran off he tried to go straight through the chicane to cut off some time, but I think he just realized, as we're talking about, is that he's not going to make the cutoff. So I think he decided to cut his qualifying stint short
by cutting the track. We're gonna see, I believe, Dinosaur back on the racing softs. It's gonna be really tight for him because he's gonna have I believe 2 minutes left until this qualifying ends, and he's actually improving by 1.7 seconds there, so he might be toasty here. Granted, the track was wet toasty when Toasty was doing his lap time, but overall it's looking really good for Dinosaur, as he will be approaching the Mulsanne corner through this lap. So qualifying ended for Nasty, but let's see what Dinosaur can do in the later parts of qualifying. We should probably see the onboard of Toasty though, see if he is improving. He is quite a remarkable driver though, as he comes to the end of this lap.
Wow, 4:21. All right. So he improved by almost 9 seconds there. And probably still has more to go with it. So let's see here. There is so there's 1 minute left to the end of the official qualifying session, plus 3 minutes. So for him, I don't think he will be able to finish another lap, seeing that he will be at I think he's just maybe 20 seconds short, but we'll see if he can get one in as he continues to set purple sectors. So Harm's Way coming through the final chicane. Let's see where he improves. Oh no, actually he doesn't improve because he switched tires and now he's on a hot lap, but seeing that Toasty probably won't be able to finish another hot lap, looks like everyone will be done after this lap.
Yeah, for the guys who went on the intermediates early on, or the guys who had pitted for the intermediates, their qualifying has been completely ruined. Except for, I believe, 1 month that's coming on to the end of his lap, Dinosaur, as we see Lamb King crossing the line. That's going to be third position, 4 minutes and 29 seconds. We should see Dinosaur there. Let's see where he can improve. It's going to be very close. And it's fourth position.
Wow, so we have Toasty in first, Rogue Nipra qualifying second place, and Lamb King in third. Wow, that's a great qualifying by those two. Dinosaur with a solid fourth, and then Harm's Way in fifth, Thundermouse sixth, Ace in seventh. Looks like Trackhead is still in the pits in ninth. Trackhead in eighth, and then Ads is in ninth. And Nasty currently sitting in the pits at 10th. So it's interesting because it looks like Rogue on his opening lap, he started with intermediates from what I remember, and then on the end of his first lap, he went to go pit for softs, which was the right call for him, and managed to snag that second place in qualifying. So epic result for Rogue. Oh, you started mediums. Okay.
Yeah, I think overall his qualifying was really good. It did benefit him from pitting on the softs and getting an advantage over the others. 4 seconds to Toasty. Lamb King just getting the edge over Dinosaur. Both of them having very good qualifying laps. And they will definitely be fighting for the podium, which is one thing to definitely see. Uh, Harm's Way, Thunder Moose, Ace, I don't think they were able to get their laps together, unfortunately. So I think Toasty might be on for another improvement here, assuming he can finish his lap. Otherwise, it does look like he is on pole position either way, so he really doesn't need to go for an improvement. But for bragging rights, I guess he is.
If it's one thing I learned about Toasty, it's that he always pushes no matter what. If he's in like first by 30 seconds, he'll still continue to push just for the sake of his own lap times.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really the point of being a racing driver. Really, is you just gotta push yourself. You just gotta push what you can do. Because not even a racing driver, but just being a driver in general. Because if you aren't going 100%, you're not doing anything correct, and that's for everything in life, really.
Yep. It looks like he will be able to finish this lap. Oh no, just a few seconds.
Oh, just by a
Just a few.
second.
All right.
I think he would have been on for a 4 minutes point 17 or 4 minutes point 18, which is a
18,
great
yeah.
improvement by him.
Yeah, it did look
Yeah,
like he was going to be in the sub 420s. But it looks like we
it
have Bike Guru now joining the lobby, so we might potentially have a reset in the lobby qualifying to include Bike Guru for the race. So
yeah.
welcome, Bike Guru.
Something that was occurring to me was that somebody suggested uh, doing a commentary while racing, which was a pretty funny idea. But maybe save the idea for later. Either way, as
I feel
would
like
be an
that's
interesting concept.
yeah, I think that would be a really you have to be really talented at multitasking. I think for me, the minute I start speaking, if I'm in a race, even if it's just like something casual, I will immediately lose focus and either crash my car or like miss an apex or whatever. I instantly start losing time the minute I start speaking or engaging in conversation.
Yeah, that's probably the hard part about it. It's just trying to stay focused, especially maybe in races like endurances, like these guys will have to do for 14 laps now, which is gonna be about an hour, I think, if I'm correct.
Let's
Uh,
see,
Either
14
way,
times 4 minutes. That's about an hour,
yep.
yeah.
Bring out the calculator app. 4 hours. Let's see.
I think it might be around an hour and 15 minutes ish,
Yeah,
just above an hour, yeah.
somewhere around an hour. Yep, including the continuation time. Yeah, that should be enough.
So, as someone who takes sim racing very seriously, what are some of the things that you do before you race to focus in and zero in and reduce distractions? Like, do you have a pre-race routine? Like, is there something that you do that helps you focus before a race?
Something I do is, well, assuming there's setups on, is try to figure out, just do the setup first, get rid of all the setup things, what you need to do with the team, answer the questions, and just finish it off. And then, as the race is starting, you just gotta put some mindset into your head that, all right, look, you need to do this. You just need to finish this race because there's something waiting for you at the end of this race that's worth doing for this. Because there's a reason why you race, and that's for the love of motorsport. That's for the love of racing, and that's the mindset you just have to keep putting onto yourself, whether that's racing for fun or that's racing for serious matters.
Mm.
And I believe that's the mindset you always gotta have.
Yeah, certainly. I think one of the things that I found really useful is you always think about before a race starts for me, I always think about stuff that I need to pay attention to in my own racing, like the racing lines that I'm taking. Like if there's a particular corner I feel particularly slow in or inconsistent, I just think about those corners before a race, kind of like envision myself taking them correctly, or envisioning adjusting my braking lines the way I need to. And I think as a while ago, before um, as someone who is maybe a junior person getting into sim racing a very long time ago, or some junior people just starting out, they'll tend to think about their opponents. They'll tend to think about what position they might end up in, or they might think about how important it is for them to finish in top three, and those are kind of the things that I think that are kind of negative things to think about that could potentially take your focus away from your own racing and your own racecraft. And I think that's a really important thing for newer drivers and drivers who have a tendency to get nervous to switch their focus on before a race.
Yeah, I think what you said about focus is pretty true, especially for these experienced drivers. Probably drivers like Toasty, drivers like Dutra, was driving in the Mazda Roadster race, pre-race, and you could join these races by joining in the Discord. And I believe with the focus that these drivers need to have, these experienced drivers need to have, is just to enter the zone, to be in the moment where you practice so much, you race so much, you dedicate yourself so much that once you're driving, you completely lose of you completely are in the focus of doing what you need to do, and that is driving, and you completely forget about everything else and you cannot hear anybody else. That's the zone that's really hard to get in, but once you're in, you'll never get out. And I believe that is what these drivers need to focus on right now. uh Question to you is, have you ever been very hyper focused in a race before?
Oh, always. I think you hit the nail on the head for what drivers need to do to get stuck in a sort of speak is when you get hyper focused, like you were saying, you kind of have a tendency to lose any sort of awareness almost of anything else. You're just zeroed in on your lines, you're zeroed in on the feel of the car or cart, whatever you're driving, and you kind of become, it sounds kind of cliche, but you kind of become one with the car. And I think
Yeah.
like when you become the car is when you become almost like this state of perfect flow or state of nirvana with the car, and you're allowed to go as
Yeah.
fast as possible. And I think, and I'm sure this is the case for many drivers, is that when they get into that state, that's when they become the fastest, because they're no longer thinking about their tires, they're no longer thinking about their opponents, they're no longer thinking about potentially winning the race or losing or making a mistake. So it's really great when you get into that state, but sometimes if you have a mind that tends to wander, or if you have tendency to think about other things while focusing, it's hard to get into that state and maintain that state while you're driving. I think what for me, whenever I'm on really long straights like the Mulsanne straight, I have a tendency to lose focus because it's just you're just sitting there in the car. All right, with that being said, we're getting the start of the
Yeah.
race, and we're going to switch over to the race soon.
As you take it from here, gonna
Yep.
see Toasty, Lamb King, Dino, sorry, Toasty and Rogue on the front row. So let's see what they can do and see what start can happen.
All right, so we're underway here with a rolling start. We'll get underway in just a bit as Toasty begins the start of the race underway, and we're go, go, go. Toasty maintains the lead. Rogue Meepa shortly behind. Lamb King in third. Just as qualifying, looks like everything is smooth. So Toasty and Rogue enter the first turn here, and then approaching the left-hander of the chicane and through the S's. Rogue Meepa goes nice and tidy. Looks like Toasty maintains his lead, and everyone goes through fairly smoothly. No incidents. Harm's Way very close to Dinosaur coming out of the S's and potentially into the last turn down the Molson Straight. So we're going to see a lot of potential overtaking here on the first lap between this little trio of Lamb King, Dinosaur, and Harm's Way.
Yeah, I think let's see, maybe both of them can help bomb draft each other, but no, it looks like Dinosaur has just made an overtake on the straight. He has no intention of doing a bomb draft, and he just said, "Nope, you guys do your own thing. I'm gonna do my own thing as well." Toasty is, I believe, already pulling a gap together. As they go side by side. Oh my God, there goes Lamb King, I believe, off the track. What has happened to Lamb King there?
It looks like Lamb King potentially might have lost his back end while braking down into the first chicane and lost control of his car, but he has recovered and is now sitting in 10th, but he's also got a 1 second penalty, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's gonna need a lot of work to do to get back into the fight. As again, there goes a lot of battles here. I believe they're gonna go 2 wide, 3 wide or so to the chicane. As try not to get a track penalty here. It's gonna be very, very close with the slipstream. Everybody's just following closer together as much as possible. Mustang, they're just revving each other out, going into the Mulsanne corner.
Oh my God, it's such a compact battle here. So it looks like Ace picks up a half-second penalty and is leading this little group here with Nasty, Thundermouse, and Ads. And there's some contact there between Nasty and Ace, and it runs Ace wide. Looks like Nasty slows down enough for him to catch up, but that allows, I believe, Ads and Thundermouse to go through. So Ads takes 5th, Thundermouse takes 6th, and then Trackhead now is also able to squeeze through in the Renault. Unfortunate for Ace there, he was leading the pack, the midfield pack, and then he got rear-ended there by Nasty, I think, in the Molson curve.
Yeah, it's been very, very clean towards these drivers, but these incidents happen, and great to know they're showing respect to each other. So again, oh my goodness, multiple cars have been into the gravel. I believe that's Trackhead, and I believe that's
Guru.
also another Lamborghini by Guru. Yeah, I believe they've just had an crash together, but yeah, unfortunate for them. A lot of damage. As again, Trackhead has another spin. Damage for him, and it looks like his race may be over at this rate, but you never know.
Yeah, it looks like Bike Guru got away cleanly there. No damage on his car. Maybe some additional unwanted tire wear, but yeah, that might have been, I don't know, it looked like, from my perspective, it looked like Trackhead went off and then Bike Guru followed him. So I wasn't necessarily sure there was any contact, but we don't really have the replay to confirm. So 32 Nasty able to pull the pass on Ace after giving the position back earlier, but now picks up a 2-second penalty, which is quite quite harsh actually. But he picks up another half second for cutting the Ford chicane on the front straight there. So Nasty accumulating the penalties. Ad's currently sitting in 5th and has made a lot of ground actually against Dinosaur and Harm's Way. And it looks like as we were focused on the action further down the field, Harm's Way was able to pass Dinosaur at some point during that last lap.
Yeah, I think right now Dino is trying to keep up. It might have been that he would have been involved with both of those guys, Harm's Way and Rogue, into the straight, and he just got a bit unlucky there. But as we go to the straight, looks like Harm's Way is pulling away. A lot more power in the Dodge Viper than the Porsche came in the Group 4 class. He's gonna keep pulling away. He's on the racing mediums, Ad's on the racing soft, so he's gonna have a grip advantage against both of those guys. So might see some overtaking happening, braking very late and very close to Dino as well. He's gonna get the slipstream. Can he make a pass in the corner? He's gonna get a good run, and they're gonna go side by side to the straight here, approaching the second chicane. Not enough speed, he has to back off, get back in the slipstream, and they're both following each other's slipstream. Dino is gaining on Harm's Way, Ad's gaining on Dino. They're gonna go side by side. Dino tries to make a move, has to back out, try to get a run. Ad tries to get a run here. Can they go side by side after the Mulsanne kink in coming through to the Mulsanne corner? Adds Dino getting the slipstream of Harm's Way. Harm's Way is just managing to stay ahead. Dino and Harm's Way go side by side here. Try not to make contact to the Mulsanne corner. Who's gonna come ahead? Dino's gonna come ahead.
Dinosaur takes the outside and squeezes by Harm's Way very clean. And up until that point, they were trying to fight over the slipstream that Harm's Way was providing up until the Mulsanne the Mulsanne turn actually. So it's kind of funny, but you can see how powerful the slipstream is on these straights. When Ads moved out the side to try to pass Dinosaur, he lost immediate speed due to the wind and not being in this slipstream of Harm's Way when Harm's Way was ahead. So Ads here making the overtake into Indianapolis on Harm's Way, jumping into 4th position. Harm's Way now in 5th position, but the difference here is that it looks like Dinosaur and Ads are running the racing softs and Harm's Way is on the mediums, so maybe there is some strategy to play at here. But despite being passed, Harm's Way still might have something up his sleeve further in the race when those mediums are still alive and the racing softs start dropping off.
Yeah, I think right now most drivers are thinking about the strategy. Whether the racing softs guys feel like, maybe they might use as much of the tires as can. Maybe the McLaren guys have tuned the car, tuned the natural frequency in a way that they can stretch their soft tires as much as the mediums can. We can see that going into play with Thunder Moose, gaining a bit on Ace here and might gain just enough to be in the slipstream. Of course, he has a 1 second penalty, so we may see what has come to effect as he cuts the corner again. This
Yeah, he's going to pick up another penalty there. Yep.
Yeah, these track limits on Le Mans are not fair at all. Pretty strict, but this is how it goes, and drivers need to learn how to respect them. As Harm's Way still keeping up. Sorry, go.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, Harm's Way still keeping up with the medium tires here. As the Supra of Ads follows Dino. I believe it's gonna be another fest through the straights here. Who do you think is gonna come on top of this battle here at the end?
I was just about to comment the same thing. Like, Harm's Way is still able to keep up with the Supra of Ads and the Porsche of Dinosaur, and might even be able to make an overtake here. So the train and the fight for the fourth position, or actually, sorry, the third position, it still continues. Harm's Way behind the slipstream of Ads in that Supra, but he does not elect to make the pass. He is actually right now still full throttle, so is he going to make the pass? Takes a peek into the inside. Ads gives him room, but he does not have enough to make the corner, so Ads goes a little bit deep into the corner, and Harm's Way still stays behind him, but he's got a little bit of a better exit speed down the second section of the Molson Straight. So they lose a little bit of time to Dinosaur as they continue to fight each other. Harm's Way taking a look to the outside into the second chicane as they approach side by side into the corner. Ads and Harm's Way again. Oh, it looks like Harm's Way goes really deep and misses the chicane, and unfortunately backs out and has lost a few seconds to Ads. So the battle continues between Ads and Dinosaur now.
Yeah, I think Ads is gonna make an overtake, just like how Dino made an overtake on Harm's Way the lap before into the Molsane corner. They're gonna come to the corner, but Dino might just get the advantage through here, and he keeps the position. Ads has a 1 second penalty, however, which is gonna put him up a disadvantage, and may be eaten up by Harm's Way coming into the penalty line. And Harm's Way is keeping up even with medium tires, but that doesn't go into his advantage, as he is still getting he's much slower than the cars behind. So Ace is also gaining on him, as he's on the different compound. So we may see a race against those guys. As yeah, Ace does close up on Harm's Way. Ads, if Ace does have a 0.5 penalty, he's gonna serve it at the end of this line.
Yeah, so Ads serving his penalty. Yep, and we'll see where he ends up if Harm's Way is able to make an overtake on him down the straight into the Porsche curve. And it looks like they're going side by side into the entrance of the Porsche curve. Harm's Way at the slight lead into the corner, makes the overtake, and looks like it's pretty easy peasy for Harm's Way to retake that fourth position from Ads after Ads serving that 1 second penalty. So the fight continues between the two. We'll see if the next time around Ads is able to overtake Harm's Way on the straight once they go back around again.
Yeah, I think right now Harm's Way is playing the game of patience. Compared to the other guys here, the soft tires are really worn out. Harm's Way is waiting for the Cayman of Dinosaur. The Dinosaur of Cayman. I've messed that up, but yeah, a bit of a jingle of words. But they're just gonna wait. He's just gonna wait for the competitors' tires to worn out and take advantage through here, as I believe Ads only has 30% of his tires left. Do you think they might be ending up pitting this lap, the soft runners?
Ooh, that's a good question. It looks like they might not have enough fuel for 2 more laps, judging based off of how Ads' fuel meter looks at the moment. So I think Ads will end up pitting. I think Harm's Way is looking to do 2 more laps. He's right at 50% fuel. Let's see here. Let's check in on Dinosaur. So Dinosaur is just below 50%. So maybe he might be looking to do another 2 laps, but he will be very, very close on fuel, and his left rear tire will be extremely worn out by then. Looks like Rogue as well is taking a page from Harm's Way's strategy. And again, Toasty being the master strategist and tire saver and fuel saver at the moment with the most fuel in his tank, with just above 50% and plenty of tires to go. And it looks like we lost Trackhead, maybe due to a disconnect or something. Unfortunately, Trackhead has DNF'd from the lobby.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but these things happen. It's part of, sim racing. We're gonna see not a lot of battles happening, but it is the battle of strategy. Whether these drivers are gonna do a 2-stop, 3-stop, or maybe even a 1-stop. It looks like from the perspective of the medium runners, they're trying to stretch the tires, especially one of the better guys, one of the guys who knows maybe what they're doing with the strategy, Toasty, looking like with the saving fuel and going on a 1-stop. So they have a lot more fuel than the others as of now.
Yeah, so it does look like Toasty is going to go for that 1-stop and pit on the end of lap 7. So he will be hitting his 50% fuel just around lap 4.5. Rogue Nipra less than halfway. So I don't think Rogue will be able to stretch his fuel out to be able to last 7 laps. But we will see if he drastically changes his fuel strategy in the coming laps, and it looks like maybe he has, because Dinosaur is catching up to him, where there previously was maybe a 3 or 4 second gap between the two. So Dinosaur now is picking up the pace, and just behind the two looks like Harm's Way and Ads are also still a pair. Harm's Way able to defend against Ads, it looks like, through the Mulsanne section of the track. So Harm's Way maintaining that 4th position, just less than half a second ahead of Ads. Oh no, it looks like Ads gets off the he gets onto the grass in the Porsche curves, but luckily he doesn't pick up any damage or crash the car. It seems like the rear left tire went completely dead, so he dives into the pits looking to refuel and maybe put on a new set of soft tires, I would assume.
Yeah, or he could be putting on to the mediums, trying to stretch this out. Because otherwise, if he's going on the softs, it might look like Ads is doing a 3-stop strategy, which is a bit questionable, if you could ask me, because the pit lane in Le Mans is really long. We've seen that in the past few races that we've been doing it, in the support races for FTGP for LRC. And along with this, I believe what Toasty and the other medium runners like Rogue and Harm's Way are doing are trying to minimize their pit stops strategically to get the better run on these guys. So it looks like it is working for now, but we'll only find out until the end of the race, as here we see an overtake happen on Dinosaur. Then goes not even side by side, it just gets done on the straight quite easily. And oh no, Rogue manages to brake a little bit later than him, outbrakes him, and gets the position done. Do you think Dinosaur might be able to catch Toasty and in the span of a few more laps? We know he's good in tire wear, so who knows?
I think Dinosaur is going to have to make his pit stop by the end of this lap. And it's a great job by Rogue there defending that second position from Dinosaur. As Dinosaur takes a peek to the outside, Rogue defends on the inside and prevents Dinosaur from getting alongside there during the braking zone. So Rogue continues to defend with his life that second position from Dinosaur. And that's going to allow Harm's Way to get into the mix. Harm's Way is only a second and a half behind the two. And the more that Dinosaur and Rogue fight, Harm's Way will be able to jump into the mix. So Dinosaur taking the inside, they get side by side down through the Mulsanne kink. Have a little bit of contact there into the braking zone. Rogue brakes late, takes the outside. They go side by side through the corner, and Rogue again defends his position and stays ahead of Dinosaur. This is some very, very epic racecraft by Rogue. And watching Rogue from I believe season 2 and season 1 of the league, he's improved immensely. So seeing him defend for second position is such an amazing thing to see. He's improved quite a lot over the past even 6 months. So hats off to Rogue right now.
Yeah, defending with a slower compound of tires against a guy with a faster compound of tires, and we know how that Dino has been improving as much as he can. With him doing league races and practicing quite a lot, as Rogue has just gone a bit wide there. And can Dinosaur capitalize off this? Dinosaur has gotten ahead of Rogue for now.
Oh my god, they're side by side.
Yeah. We know what might happen, as Rogue has done it for the past few laps here, but is Dino wise to it? He has the inside line, but no, that outside for Rogue. Transition to the inside, no, it's not enough. Dino is into second place. And that's unfortunate, but that was some great bit of defending from Rogue there on the medium compound tires, and I think it's a brilliance of his skill, as he's now have to defend from Harm's Way. And let's see if Dino and Harm's Way pit this lap.
So Dinosaur jumps into the pits, and Rogue there almost losing his composure quite a bit while fighting Dinosaur, and almost lost that position, that third position at the time, to Harm's Way. But he is able to defend. Whenever Dinosaur and Rogue were going through the Porsche curves, I thought Rogue was going to maintain the outside and be able to defend again, but Dinosaur was able to take the outside on the second half of the turns and make the pass. But that was epic battle between the two. A little bumping there between Harm's Way and Rogue as they continue to battle through the S's. Both look like they're on the same strategy. They have very similar fuel and tire consumption. So this is for position between these two. Meanwhile, Toasty is a good 10 seconds ahead of the pack at the moment, and is Ferrari having a very maybe peaceful but not necessarily stressful race. He wasn't exactly that far ahead in front of Rogue and Dinosaur when they were battling. So Toasty on his way through the first chicane and still in the lead, still comfortably in the lead, but it's still not something that is well into the 30-second range. So he doesn't have any room to make any mistakes in his position.
Yeah, Toasty has been keeping it consistent for a few laps, capitalizing of Rogue fighting Harm's Way and fighting Dinosaur. Dinosaur obviously has pitted this lap, and he is going for probably an undercut. Who knows if he's on the mediums or on the softs. I'd imagine he's on the mediums, and he's trying to extend it as much as possible to do a one-stop. But, well, we know how good he is in tire wear. Probably as good compared to Toasty, who's been keeping his mediums all intact quite a lot, and alongside his fuel also as he approaches the Monsane corner. Ads also keeping his mediums very safe and sound as he's gonna approach a battle with Dinosaur. He's going 1/10 quicker than Ace in his fastest lap. Dinosaur on fresh softs, so he may be or maybe not going for two stop.
Yeah, so it's interesting seeing ads switch to the mediums from the softs. So maybe he is going to do a longer stint on the mediums and then go for the two-stop. But these two were pretty close together when ads went into pit a lap early, and seeing them come out together again, it looks like their strategies are going to be very similar as well. So the battle continues between Dinosaur and ads, and then maybe towards the end of the race, we'll see how the strategy between Dinosaur and ads holds up against Rogue, Nipra, and Harm's Way, currently sitting in second and third. So we'll see if the maybe three-stopper versus the two-stopper, which one will come out on top towards the closing laps of the race.
Yeah, in my personal opinion, I think what these drivers are doing are quite relative to their own pace. I felt like Dinosaur might have been able to convert the one-stop strategy to his favor, but it looks like he's going aggressive this time. So I believe from all the training he's been doing with his league races, his driving style has been a lot more aggressive and maybe a bit quicker as well due to this. Ads, I believe, is on an alternative strategy. So is the other two people as Rogue and Harm's Way dive into the pit box.
Yep, so we'll see when Rogue and Harm's Way leave the pits, how they stack up against Dinosaur and ads. I know Harm's Way was in the mix between ads and Dinosaur fighting, and Rogue was just ahead. So we'll see after this pit stop where they end up in terms of relative position. But it's hard to say if Dinosaur and ads are actually going to pit one additional time compared to Rogue and Harm's Way. And if that's the case, then I think they'll end up losing out on the podium because they're essentially all in the same position at the moment after just one stop. If they had to pit an additional time, it's an extremely large delta, like you were saying before earlier in the race. I think the optimal strategy here at Le Mans is to minimize the amount of pit stops that you have to do, just simply because the time in the pits is so large.
Yeah, if this was maybe a smaller pit lane, like maybe a Tsukuba circuit, as what on earth? There is rain that is inbound.
Oh my goodness. So
Yeah, rain
things are getting
inbound.
shaken up now. Rain is falling on the S's section of the track. Let's take a quick look at Toasty to see if it's raining on his end. It looks like there's no rain over where Toasty is at the moment, but the S's right now is almost already up to that first tick on the line, and oh my goodness, it's starting to pour, and it is going to get dangerous here. You can see Dinosaur and ads already being really cautious on the exit of the first corner before the Mulsanne Straight.
Yeah, something that bothers me here is if they had the weather radar, why did Dino and why did ads not pit for intermediates, knowing that it may rain? So that's what confuses me here. Maybe they suspect that the rain wouldn't last for so long. But
It's possible, yeah. It's possible that the radar shows maybe there's only going to be a little bit of rain and then it's immediately going to stop. But judging by what we're seeing, it's not going to let up anytime soon.
yeah, it's not. Yeah, it is not light at all. So I have no idea how this has been a mess up in terms of pit stops. They On the mediums, it's also gonna be really tricky. Side by side in these conditions, I think they might be a bit crazy, but here we go. Please just keep it on track. You both are second and third. Approaching the second chicane. Are they gonna be okay? Yes, for now.
Oh my God, both cars able to keep it on the track, and Dinosaur is able to keep the lead. But it looks like Ads got the better exit, and now they're side by side once again, going through the Mulsanne kink into the Mulsanne corner. Dinosaur with the slight lead. Oh my goodness, this is quite possibly the most intense situation that you can have in Le Mans, is on a wet track side by side with another car, and Ads being cautious, taking a little bit more braking into the corner and allowing Dinosaur to take it. So Rogue and Harm's Way still together, and both are on racing medium. So excuse me, Rogue is on the racing soft, picked up a half a second penalty for cutting, it looks like, and Harm's Way on the medium, but it's starting to rain once again. It's not letting up. Ace is in 6th on intermediates, so Ace has hopped over to the intermediate tires. Let's see if there's anyone else here. So Nasty also on the intermediates. Thundermouse as well. Lamb King elected to stay on the softs. And Bike Guru decided to jump on the intermediates as well.
So I believe Ace is gonna have the overall advantage in this situation as of now. Toasty pitting for mediums. I'm surprised how the guys on the mediums, on the slicks tires, are keeping it on track for now. This is really gonna play into the advantage of the guys on the intermediates as of now. Toasty has the decision. Does he want to risk it? Keep it on the mediums, and maybe the rain looks like it's easing off right now, and just pit for slicks. Keep it on track and just finish the race, or go for the intermediates.
Yeah, it's a very tough decision between the two strategies. I think on one hand, the intermediates will save you if it does continue to rain more, but on the other hand, if it stops, then the intermediates will very quickly wear to the bone. So it's an extremely tough decision, especially for a strategy where you're aiming to go all the way. Oh, Ads are there, almost going into the pit lane, and decides not to go. He stays out. But what I was saying before is that for a strategy like Toasty's, it's a big decision to make on the tire selection if you're going to go the rest of the race on that tire compound. But he decided to choose the intermediates, it looks like.
Yeah, I believe Ads has not taken the pit lane choice on purpose. He is chosen to continue, and with the looks like it, the track is dried up quite a lot now. So it wasn't for a short period. Both Dino and Ads have kept it on track, and right now, it looks like, as of right now, both of them are gaining on Toasty, and this may be a really climatic end to the end of the race. So we will see in the last few laps, will Ads gain enough to overtake Toasty for the lead? Will Toasty have to compromise on going to the slicks again and trying to catch up back to Ads and Dino? Is Dino able to challenge for the lead? Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting few races. If you were Toasty, what would you do in this situation?
So I mean, we have more insight into what's happening at the moment. So I think Dinosaur and Ads are going to have to make another pit before the race is over. So I actually think that Toasty is in a good spot to potentially pit again and switch over to softs towards the end of the race and still maintain the lead. But if I were him, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know what the right call is. I think softs would have been a good choice, because I think softs are pretty good when it's raining and it's wet. and you have a pretty good advantage when the track starts drying out. But you know, we don't have any insight on the radar map. Maybe they're seeing on their side that there is no rain, no foreseeable rain in the future. So I think Toasty has made a decision that could have gone either way. I think for him at this point, either decision was the right one, to be honest.
Yeah, this may be playing into the hands of Az and Dino, since they have made the strategy call of not going on to the intermediates, unlike the rest of these guys. But Rogue and Harmsway pitted, I believe, a lap before. They were challenging Az and Dino a few laps ago, but now they've dropped back due to the strategy decisions made because of the rain. And these drivers have been keeping it consistent. I believe right now we just need to see how Toasty is doing in these conditions and how he is faring on into the intermediates.
Yeah, it looks like the track is the track is already dry. It looks like the rain meter is already below the first tick on the bottom left hand side of the screen. So those tires are going to start wearing out extremely quickly in the coming few laps. He might even elect to pit this lap to change over his tires, and we will see if he decides to do that in just a few seconds as he passes the Porsche curves.
I think it's better. He has a lot of pace that these guys don't have, and even if it's dried up, he is. Oh no, he's pitting. He is pitting.
I think that's the right decision.
So
for Toasty's sake, let's hope it doesn't start raining again in a few minutes.
Yeah, you do lose a minute in terms of pit stops, as we have seen in Le Mans. So Toasty has got to catch up a deficit of 20 plus seconds to Az and Dinosaur to win the race. Does that
not count? Does that take into account fueling? So he doesn't have to fuel any more than actually he might have to fuel more. I don't know. We'll see. Because he's at 37% right now, which is not a lot.
If he wants to make it safe, he does need to fuel. But it may be under 20 seconds. But let's see here. As he may also be a bit behind Harmsway. We're not sure.
And Harmsway passes the front straight start finish line at the moment. And Toasty's coming out just now, so they're going to be pretty close to each other. Harmsway will actually take over the third position to take that final podium spot. Go ahead.
Some odd reason, Toasty has pitted for 100% fuel, which is questionable, but I think he's going for full push mode with the fuel he has. And he's going to set his sights, and he's going to do... Well, we're going to see one of the biggest and best comeback drives, I believe, done by probably in any race. So this is going to be an entertaining last few laps, ladies and gentlemen. So I recommend you stay tuned, as Toasty is immediately catching up to Harmsway.
Yeah, so Toasty taking advantage of that slipstream. Maybe not quite close enough to make it side by side next to Harmsway into the first chicane, but he's certainly gaining time. You can see how that Viper is set up for speed. Even with the slipstream, Toasty doesn't make that much time up on Harmsway. But he certainly keeps it nice and tidy around the first chicane. And now he's got... Yeah, he's not making that much time up in the slipstream. You can even see from the first point of view. At full speed, full throttle, it's tough for that Ferrari to really gain on the Viper. You see it's kind of struggling. Oh, actually, look at that. So Toasty is letting off the gas and coasting behind harm's way. So maybe he's saving fuel or something? It's very interesting. Or maybe he
Yeah,
is
but
looking to make the pass into the Mulsanne to potentially prevent harm's way from coming back at him. Yep, here we go. We go
here we
side by
go.
side through the Mulsanne kink and coming up to
Yeah,
the Mulsanne corner. And Toasty
harm's
makes
way.
a clean, yeah, he makes a clean overtake already ahead of harm's way. No contest there. Toasty into
Pretty
third
easy
place.
overtake.
Yep.
Yep. Something that bothers me is that why would he pit Toasty? Because obviously you have 20 seconds plus ahead of you, and he was not gaining and he was not losing on the cars behind. So it's a really odd decision. But maybe he understood that he was underfueled, so that might be the reason why. As we're gonna see the battle with Dino and Ads. Dino has overtaken Ads, and Ads has a 5 tenths penalty. It's gonna be really close as Toasty is gonna be rapidly gaining. What is your bet on the end of the race? Who do you think is going to win? Dino, Ads, or Toasty?
Oh, so Toasty's in a good spot right now. So despite taking that extra pit stop or that unwanted pit stop, Toasty was able to refuel to go to the end of the race, I think. I think he'll be good. I don't think he'll need to pit any more times. So Dinosaur and Ads, despite being 20-some seconds ahead, they still have to pit one more time. So they're going to be a good 20 seconds or so behind Toasty when they come back out, and Toasty's going to gain the lead again. So if Toasty can coast to the end of the race and save enough fuel, he'll be in a pretty comfortable lead, in my opinion. I think the only person who's going to be potentially able to challenge him is Harm's Way, but Harm's Way has to save even more fuel than Toasty does. And as we saw there on the straightaway, Toasty was able to overtake him quite easily. And Rogue, also on the same strategy as Harm's Way, has fallen behind Harm's at about 12 seconds or so. So honestly, I think it's no contest at this point, unless if Toasty makes another mistake or if there's some more rain in the mix, which we could potentially easily have. So we'll look towards the rain gods towards the end of the race to potentially mix it up for us and make it more difficult for Toasty.
Yeah, maybe if it's a Hockenheim 2019 situation, we may see one of the most craziest endings to the race. But right now it's looking quite stable. You know, there's no naughty dark clouds coming into the sky and dropping heavy rain. So for now, it looks like everybody's just keeping it stable. Not a lot of fighting, but just a lot of stable gaps. We need to check how Dino does on fuel-wise as well, because he may be saving fuel as well. It doesn't look like he has enough fuel till the end.
Yeah, he might have just enough fuel to make it. So Dinosaur on the last lap set the fastest lap of the race. So he's certainly pushing and not saving fuel. He did a 4:24. So quite quick pace there. Maybe he realized he was saving too much fuel, or maybe since he saw Ads pit, maybe he's trying to overcut him with a fast lap. I mean, at this point, his race is with Ads at the moment. So I think at this point, seeing Ads' pit a lap early, he's going to try to put in as many fast laps as possible before he has to pit. But that 1 second penalty is certainly going to hurt him quite a bit, and he did lose a little bit of time there on that first chicane by going in a little bit too deep. Yeah, we'll see when Dinosaur comes to pit and where Ads ends up relative to him when Ads comes through the front straight. And then it'll be interesting to see too when those two relative to Harm's Way and Rogue. So I think both of those will no longer have to pit, but their lap times are significantly slower than Ads and Ads and Dinosaur. So Rogue, for example, his last two laps were a 4:34 and a 4:47, and Dinosaur, His last lap was a 4:24 and a 4:39, so quite quick.
Yeah, I think with the pace that Dino is setting right now, he just needs to keep it consistent as it gets a bit of a slidey, gets a bit twitchy on the curb through there. I believe with the 1 second penalty, he needs to be very off ads if he is planning to go on the overcut. Toasty has pretty much won this race, as he's definitely not gonna have enough fuel till the end. Pitting this lap, most likely, yeah, as the fuel mark goes red. So, gonna keep an eye on these two. The gap really is 1 minute and 2 seconds. So it looks like, from the looks of it, Dino might just come ahead. But it depends if Dino makes a mistake in the next few corners. 1 minute 3 seconds now, so it might be bigger. He is still working on it. Dino being the quicker driver for now. So let's see how this battle plays out then.
Yeah, at the moment, all of our contestants are pretty spread out, it looks like. Except for Lamb King and Bike Guru here actually having a little bit of a battle. Bike Guru is still on intermediate, so maybe recently Lamb King had made the pass on Bike Guru since he's losing some time. He's at a 4:55. His last lap was a 4:55, and Lamb King was actually in the 5 minutes. So maybe Bike Guru is actually catching Lamb King here. But Bike Guru will soon find himself in trouble as his intermediates will fall off very quickly as the temperatures of the track rise and continue to dry out. Well, actually, right now it's completely dry at this point. So Dinosaur in the pits. Looks like Rogue Neeper also in the pits. An interesting decision there. I thought he had enough fuel to potentially go to the end of the race, but he decides to jump into the pits to get maybe more fuel because his tires are looking pretty okay. It's an interesting decision there. Maybe he accidentally went into the pits or something. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah, it might be going for a good old splash and dash there. But you never know with these guys what magic they pull out of the strategies. As Dino's done fueling. Dino's done fueling, and out of the pit lane he comes to 1.2 seconds ahead of Ads with fresher tires. And this is gonna be a battle to watch till the end of the race.
Yeah, and it's epically close. So Dinosaur now with the soft tires, Ads with one lap older tires, but they're fully warm and ready to go. Only a second behind Dinosaur, less than a second now, and down they go through the straight. Ads will have the slipstream on Dinosaur. So a very close race between the two of these, and it's props to them for having an extremely clean and close race throughout the entire afternoon here.
Yeah, they've just been tugging it out, fighting each other the whole race, and like I said, it's gonna be as Dinosaur goes a bit wide through there, Ad's gonna get a run good enough. They're gonna go side by side again. These two cannot stop fighting. As I've got interrupted, Dinosaur taking the slipstream of Ads. Can he manage to make an overtake into the second chicane? Here we go, side by side. Dino might just get enough top end. Again, Ads is gonna take the slipstream. Will he try a dive bomb maybe? Braking late. Ads brakes late. Oh, nope. He's gonna wait for it, and he does wait for it. Dinosaur again goes flying, overshoots the corner. We're gonna see them both go side by side.
Side by side again. Oh my
again
God.
and again. Here we go. They're gonna go really wheel to wheel. I feel like they might be even clashing at this point. As and into the Mulsanne corner.
So Ads cleanly
And
takes the inside there and makes the overtake on his 1 lap older racing saw. So again, this is interesting because there's a lot of strategy that will come into play here. So if Dinosaur saves more fuel behind Ads, or one of the, I don't think actually any of them are going to plan to save more fuel or save their tires behind each other. It looks like they're just straight shot duking it out at this point, just overtaking each other as soon as they get the slipstream. Dinosaur now leading Ads into the Indianapolis corner. So I think for them, they're just going to keep overtaking each other as soon as they get the opportunity. The straight fist fight between these two.
yeah, like you said before the race, you just stop thinking about the strategy, just stop thinking about everything else, and you just enter that focus where you just want to fight the other guy and beat him to the spot that matters the most. And these two are battling for the podium here, so it means a lot for them. But Dino, let's hope he can build a consistent gap. He is doing quite well now. All Dino needs to do is have consistent lap times like he has been doing on the past few laps. It's been a bit consistent, but just keep out of the track penalties, and let's see what they can do as Ads starts to close up on him.
Yeah, easier said than done. So Dinosaur there takes the inside to defend against Ads into the last chicane, the fourth chicane, and successfully wards off Ads, but Ads is maybe looking into getting a better line and better exit by starting the corner more wide and getting a better exit. So again, Ads is able to stay behind Dinosaur through the chicanes and maintain that half a second gap. But I think what I was saying earlier is that there is some strategy here that one of them could potentially use, where if they stay behind the other person and save a little bit of fuel and potentially use more fuel in the later stages of the race, or use their tires in the later stages of the race. But again, I don't think that's the case. I think they both have enough fuel and enough tires to just go full send, have their cars to the limit. But here's an interesting thing. So Harm's Way is about 14 seconds ahead of these two. I think he is losing time each lap. So there's a potential for Harm's Way to fall into this battle between Dinosaur and Ads towards the closing stages of the race as well.
I think Harm's Way in terms of fuel and tires is doing okay. But the problem really goes into the factor is, do Dinosaur and Ads want to work together in the past of the next 2 laps? Because they could quite easily gain around 5 seconds lap to Ads, knowing he's doing somewhere along the 4 minutes 30 sections, while they're doing much quicker lap times. So it really goes to a strategy. Maybe do they want to duke it out, lose a few seconds, or do they want to work together and try to fight for P2? So it's gonna be a bit of a mind games now.
So Harm's Way is aggressively saving fuel at this point. You can see he's short shifting incredibly early, and he's already lost 4 seconds to Dinosaur and Ads, despite those two fighting. And again, they're side by side with each other into the Mulsanne kink once again. This time Dinosaur is on the outside, Ads is on the inside, and these two just cannot be separated at all. So Ads takes the lead here, or sorry, excuse me, Dinosaur takes the lead here into the braking zone, and Ads concedes the position, but the fight is long from being over. Ads will look for the next opportunity to overtake, and he'll take it immediately when he gets the chance. But they're continuing to make ground on Harm's Way. So now they're 6 seconds behind Harm's Way in the closing stages of this lap. And then they'll have 2 more laps to go after this. Harm's Way looks like he's in trouble.
Yeah, these two cannot stop fighting, but Harm's Way is losing a lot of time. It may be looking like Harm's Way really does need to just, he might be on fuel map, or like fuel map 4, fuel map 5 right now, short shifting early, just trying to keep have the car for enough fuel, just so he can, in lap 13 or 14, just have a chance at fighting Ads and Dino, even on mediums. So it's gonna be an interesting tussle between P4, P3, and P2. It's not gonna be fun for Arms Way here, who've definitely been comfortable at plus 12 seconds, but let's see how he gets along with it.
So if Harm's Way does have to end up pitting, it looks like Rogue Nipper might be able to take that maybe 4th position away from him. So Ad's very, very close here. Looks to the inside of Dinosaur to potentially make the pass into the Ford chicane. They go side by side. Oh my God. So Ad's backing out the last second there. Rightfully so. Good decision by him. Otherwise, it would have been a pretty bad collision. But Ad's definitely putting the pressure on Dinosaur as much as possible in these final 2 closing stages of, final 2 laps of the race. Ads certainly won't let Dinosaur get away with coasting and just chilling for the rest of the race. Ads will make Dinosaur work for it.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna.
Sorry, go ahead.
Alright, yeah, I don't think they're just gonna give him. Ads is gonna give up that easily, and neither is Dinosaur. They're closing up on Harm's Way really, really quickly now. In slipstream distance, I believe, after the first chicane, both improving on the lap times. Ads gets a better run on Dino here, Dino and Harms. Side by side again, these guys cannot stop going side by side every single corner, every single straightaway, in every single lap. It's almost impossible to see how good this battle is. And the entertainment they're giving us. Ads, again, slipstream. Dino, trying to defend. Outside for Dino, inside for Ads. Is it gonna happen again? Dino just breaks him off later. Again and again. What can you say?
Ads there, I think, exceeding track limits potentially, yep, and picks up a half-second penalty. That's going to be extremely costly for him in this battle. Maybe he can force Dinosaur into an error and maybe take the lead. He's going to have to do something to make up for this half-second. It's quite a bit of a penalty, especially because it's served, I believe, right after the Indianapolis corner complex. So you lose quite a bit of time, more than just half a second down the straight. But you see you see Dinosaur coming up on Harm's Way into the Mulsanne kink. Harm's Way in a lot of trouble here, having to save enough fuel for the rest of the race. I don't think he'll put up much of a fight, to be honest, against Dinosaur and Ads, but this might be an opportunity for Ads to, I don't know, box Dinosaur in somehow, or take advantage of the traffic ahead. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, they both have closed up the gap to Harm's Way here, and Dino, and I think this is not a comfortable position for Harm's Way at all. Dino side by side, just like how he was with Ads all these laps. He's probably gonna use Harm's Way as traffic, just so, but no. They're both gonna go side by, not even side by side, but Harm's Way can defend through, is gonna stay in second for now. I think he's picked up the pace and he has turned back on fuel map 1. they're both gonna try their best to overtake, but I bet all my money that Harmsway is going to defend like an absolute lion.
As you say that, Dinosaur takes the lead of Harm's Way, but Harm's Way not giving up so easily, taking a peek on the outside, taking a wire line into the Porsche curves to potentially get a better exit. But Dinosaur's, I think, his racing soft tires and full fuel, like fuel map is just gonna take it away from Harm's Way too easily. But again, it's still anyone's race. If any of these guys make a mistake, it can bring ads, for instance, right back into the race, or Harm's Way right back into the race. So we're on the final lap here. Toasty about a minute lead ahead of Dinosaur. Dinosaur, Harm's Way, and ads all within about 1.5 seconds of each other. Rogue a solid 20 seconds behind ads. Looks like Ace in 6th place. Nasty in a solid 7. Lamb King maintaining that 8th position. Thundermouse in 9, and Bike Guru, who had to actually take another pit stop to take his car off of those intermediate tires and put racing softs on his Lamborghini.
Yeah, I believe Dino, Harmsway, and ads are gonna toss it out right now. So at the end of this, this is probably gonna go down to the wire. And by what I mean by down to the wire, can possibly be the final corner of this race. Here we go. Harmsway is following the slipstream, only 7/10 back or so from Dino, but Dino in that dinosaur themed livery, Rexy as they like to call it in IMSA, is gonna just I feel like he's just gonna go a bit deeper in the corners, and that's just what. And yeah, Harmsway gets the advantage here. They're both gonna be a bit close. Ads following 2 seconds behind. I think he's made a mistake.
Yeah, it sounded like he made a mistake there in the first chicane. He maybe went a little bit too deep, but Harmsway looking pretty good. So he's got less fuel than Dinosaur, but his tires look really, really good. I think Harmsway will have a really good chance to keep that final podium position, but I think it's going to be tough for him to fight against Dinosaur in these closing laps. With Dinosaur, I think under pressure, like as you mentioned, he went kind of deep on that first chicane, and he took a shallow line, almost as if to defend against Harm's Way. And now Harm's Way, right up on his bumper in the slipstream, down through the Mulsanne kink. Will Harm's Way be able to take back that second position? He takes the inside, and now they're side by side. So this round, Dinosaur is not side by side with ads, but Harm's Way for that second position. Harm's Way on the inside with the advantage. Breaks later than Dinosaur and stays ahead, but he goes deep and makes a mistake. So Dinosaur retakes that second position. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think Dinosaur is gonna get away with this. Right now, Harmsway has made a really, really, really crucial mistake. That could have been his second place, but he's gonna maybe have another attempt after the next few corners, as Toasty is now running away with the lead and will take the win.
So Toasty going through the Ford chicane one last time. As always, Toasty super consistent, super dependable, super fast. Wins the GR3 support race of our FTGP Le Mans. And now it's all down to the wire between these two, Dinosaur and Harm's Way.
Yeah, Dinosaur versus Harm's Way versus Dinosaur. Harm's Way trying to get the slipstream here, but not quite enough. He's probably gonna have to fuel save. Look at that indicator. It's just not gonna be enough, is it? Ads has to drop back. Maybe he underfueled a little. As I think Dino is. Yeah, Dino is gonna.
Ads.
No! Ads makes a crucial mistake. Dinosaur running away with it. That's disappointing for ads. In contention for second place has now fallen off as now he is P5, overtaken by Rogue. Rogue into P4 now. As we're gonna see, Dinosaur Harm's Way making a final ditch effort into the
Oh
final
my
few
god, they're
corners. Here we
side by
go.
side into the port chicane.
Here we go.
Harm's
Harm's
Way.
Way into the final
Oh,
few
he's not
corners.
able to make
It's gonna
it.
be really close. No,
Oh
not
my
enough.
god. A tenth of a second after
Just
almost
a
nearly an
tenth
hour
of
of
a
racing.
second.
So solid result by Rogue Nipra on a 4th place finish here at Le Mans with the Aston Martin Vantage. Epic result by Rogue. He's come a long way since season 1 of the league. Adds with that unfortunate spin, likely due to that worn out rear left tire that happened last time we saw him whenever he had an issue with that tire in the Porsche curve. So tough result for Ads. He had a great race against Dinosaur all race long and with Rogue and Harm's Way.
Yeah.
Ace now going through the Porsche curve for one last time. Solid result by him. Fairly uneventful. It seems like he didn't have too many battles in his race story, I guess if you want to call it that, race storyline. So epic drive by Ace. You can hear those rear tires squealing quite hard as he finishes across the start-finish line. So Nasty also had seems like a relatively quiet race as well in the Mustang. A lot of battles though for him in the beginning. He qualified, I think, somewhere in the middle, but he had a lot of battles in the opening corners of the lap. That Coca-Cola livery car, number 70.
Been a great result for him. Been consistent, starting from, I believe, back rear of the grid. Oh, time's out.
Yeah, the countdown timer usually cuts people off if they're behind more than 3 minutes. So unfortunate for that. But let's take a look at the results one more time. So Toasty takes first place with a best lap too, with a 4:19. Dinosaur second, and Harm's Way finishes up the podium positions. Rogue Nipra with a solid 4th place, Adds in 5th with that unfortunate error in the closing stages of the race. Ace in 6th, 32 Nasty PSVR in 7th, and Lamb King in 8th. So we got Bike Guru with a lap down. Great finish, at least by Bike Guru, for finishing out the race. Thundermouse, and then Trackhead with the DNFs. Unfortunately, potentially due to, I don't know if it was an activity issue or if they just had to go or whatnot. So unfortunate DNF for both of those drivers.
Who would be your driver of the day for the Group 4 Triple Crown?
Oh, I would have to say Dinosaur. Dinosaur, with the amount of battling that he had to do between Ads and then towards the closing stages with Harm's Way, I would say Dinosaur takes my vote for driver of the day. How about you?
Yeah, I'd say Dinosaur as well. Just overall really consistent throughout the race. A lot of fighting going on, and he managed to not make a single bad incident. Obviously, track penalties, but he managed to get through them. And even with the pit stop error, he managed to get P2. So great result by him as well.
Yeah, I would say a close second for me for driver of the day too would be Rogue. He had such a great race. He maintained second for an incredibly long time, and then he had that battle with I think it was with Harm's Way, where he had defended the outside for maybe 3-4 corners straight. That was an epic battle by him. So great job, Rogue.
Yeah.
Dinosaur, we were just talking about you for driver of the day for the stream.
Yeah, that was quite a race. I hope you guys enjoyed commentating on it.
Oh, we most certainly
Yeah,
did.
we
We
sure
we
did.
loved seeing we loved seeing you and ads essentially side by side on every straight of every lap. So that was
Uh,
highly entertaining for us.
I felt like I had 12 laps like that between, like, it was at Rogue of the first handful of laps, and then it was ads, and then the last, like, 2 laps, it was Harm's Way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you always had at least one lap where it's just like every lap you had at least one person next to you. It didn't matter who it was, but you always had someone next to you. But how was so when the rain came down, was it very clear for you that it was only going to be temporary? Because we saw you make the decision and everyone else to just stay on the slicks. Like, what did that look like from your perspective?
Sketchy. So the rain radar had splotches of green and yellow on it. So I knew it was going to get heavy. The rain meter almost filled up to wet territory for part of the lap. But I also knew the ads was going to do what I did. And I felt more confident in my ability to go around the track with wet slicks than I thought he could do. But he did fantastic. He's door to door the whole time it was raining.
Yeah, seeing you two on that lap with slick tires in the rain going side by side, I was very, very surprised and very, very shocked there wasn't any incidents. So props to both of you guys for that lap. That was absolutely amazing. All right, any final closing comments, Lukey or Dinosaur?
No, I just popped in to say hey. I guess we'll see everybody again two nights for the big one.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck for the big one, mate. And let's hope you win the race for the big one. Yeah. Give us a show, mate.
Maybe the
Yeah.
GR3 class. I know that the LMP boys are going to be rocket ships on Tuesday night.
Yeah. Either way, good luck to you. And then Luigi, I know you're not going to be participating, but hopefully we'll see you in one of them soon. So if you're just watching us, we're LRC. We will be broadcasting on Tuesday for the final FTGP Triple Crown race at Le Mans. And then we'll have a nice treat for every Tuesday going forward. We're going to be starting season 3. So stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, and tune in on Tuesdays to watch some excellent races, especially for season 3, since we'll be having the NASCAR spec. So a lot of entertaining races to look forward to. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.